Rusty Schweiker, for a long time, has been notorious for championing that we need to find these asteroids. Has he always been involved with the organization, or when did he become involved?
Rusty was one of our original co-founders, along with myself, Clark Chapman, and Pete Hutt. We are the original founders of B612 Foundation.
Why B612, and what does it stand for?
Well, B612 was the asteroid home of the Little Prince. And we thought it was kind of a fun name. And the other thing about it is that if you think about what the Little Prince was always amused by, it was the inability of adults to see what was really important. And in some sense, that's kind of true here. I mean, we have everyday problems here on Earth, right? We have budget fights, political fights, all these things that adults spend their time worrying about. But sometimes there are bigger problems that manifest themselves on longer time scales. What's really important for the Earth over the next 100 years? And when you start to think along time scales like that, you realize that the Earth doesn't just orbit the sun in a vacuum. There are other things out there which Earth is subject to, has historically been subject to. And what our goal is essentially to make sure that the Earth is no longer hit by large asteroids, and that we also have a map that allows us to take advantage of those asteroids that come near us so that we can move humanity outwards into the solar system.
And how would that be possible? Would that be using these near-Earth asteroids as a resource or as a potential habitat?
Well, near-Earth asteroids are tremendous objects of scientific study. They are remnants of the early formation of the solar system. So from a science standpoint, they're very, very interesting. From a potential human mission standpoint, they are relatively easily accessible. They're much easier to get to and get back from than, say, Mars. Maybe you want to get to Mars, but maybe you want to take some stepping stones, preliminary stepping stones along the way. And potentially far off in the future, there's a possibility that we might even be able to make use of the resources on asteroids someday.
Now, once you guys have identified any potentially hazardous asteroids, do you want to take the lead on trying to mitigate that threat, or would that fall to the hands of someone else?
No, there's a lot of discussion over what people of planet Earth would do if we find an asteroid that has a very, very high chance of hitting the Earth. And we believe that that is inherently a government function, the governments of the world. It is an international issue. And so what our goal is to provide the data that provides an early warning.
Will there be any sort of follow-on program, or is that the main end goal of the B612?
We are looking at this as a project, not as building an empire. So we are a virtual organization. We're not going to build a headquarters building. We're not going to invest in things like that. We're going to build an operations center for Sentinel. It'll be at LASP in Colorado, which is the laboratory for astronomy and space physics. And so we are looking at this as a 10-year project. The most important thing that people need to know about B612 is that they can make this happen. The amounts of money that we are trying to raise are very, very similar to building the wing of an art museum, or a small opera house, or a performing arts center. And those types of things are built commonly worldwide by small communities. And our contention is that if the people of San Francisco can build the wing of an art museum, then the people of the world ought to be able to get together to build a mission that could potentially save all of humanity on Earth.
And what can people do to get involved and to help to make this happen?
Well, the first thing to do is go to our website, b612foundation.org. You can learn about what we're trying to do. You can get involved. We're beginning to spool up educational programs through our partners, the Planetary Society and the California Academy of Sciences, and they can go to the donate pages there and they can spread the word. Essentially what we want people to know is that they can take ownership of this mission, that they can actually become part of the crew of Spaceship Earth, not just a passenger on Spaceship Earth, and that if there's a groundswell of support to do this, then this mission is going to happen.